My new
Welcome,
coffee cup.
everybody. Oh, what is your coffee cup? What is that? Oh, I got a new.
It's Parker's nose.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, I got a new coffee cup too. You see this? Here we go. Look at that. So
Funnel
it's a
Wednesday.
yeah, it's a dry erase. It's a
Oh,
dry
that's kind
erase
of fun.
coffee mug. You
Huh.
know. You know how I found it,
I didn't know they existed. Or this is just a regular cup that you just marked up.
dude? Don't take my joke, okay? It's it's just a plain white coffee cup that I was like, can I draw on this and wipe it off?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, so mine's not nearly as cool as you, but you know, it is what it is. So what are we talking about today, Stu? I think I had an article today. I actually
You
had a
did.
thought about a topic we could talk about, but I'd rather see what you think.
Well, first of all, we did a podcast earlier this week.
We did.
Jim's never quit mindset story
Uh-oh.
was really good.
Did you publish it yet?
It's up on my YouTube page. Um,
Okay.
but I'll send it to you. Oh, you know what? I put it on your YouTube page as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
but we can share it out later. So somebody had
Coolio.
mentioned that you guys want to share it out this month or next month, on a newsletter. It's a
Yeah,
good
we're
one.
gonna
Jim's got a story.
Yeah, everybody's got a story. I always had a story for the nuns, I was when I was in elementary school, definitely cooked up some stories for the nuns to keep from getting that ruler across the hands.
Mm.
But it didn't really help. They hit hard. So, Stu, today's
Yeah.
article was about what? This is a test.
It was about building a sales funnel fast,
Uh-huh.
and it had multiple steps in it. I think like seven. Yeah, 7 steps.
Hey, pretty good, man.
Um, and
You
it's
either
kind of timely. You know,
Well, it was
I,
interesting because of the fact that yesterday's masterclass was how to set up a funnel fast. And I want y'all to kind of notice a pattern here. Okay. So I had the 7 step framework and I taught the 7 step framework from my board for a masterclass. Then I used the exact same 7 step framework to write an article. And I could use that exact same 7 step framework to create a signature talk. I could use it to create a series of blog posts. I could use it to create a 2 day seminar. Isn't it interesting that once you kind of identify a framework or a pattern or some sort of just a method or whatever, you can expand it or contract it into as big or as small as necessary. Um, and that was actually done on purpose. That doing that yesterday and then having the article and all that good stuff. And I did something else yesterday, Stu, that I don't know, I felt drawn to do it.
okay.
And that was I've been feeling like a little overloaded with PowerPoint lately. I think it's in reaction to the Write Your Book challenge that we did, where I had to prepare a new PowerPoint lesson 5 days a week for like however many weeks that we did it.
You got good at
And
it.
and yeah, but I've just got tired of it. So yesterday I decided, you know what? I'm gonna teach a class and I had the PowerPoint ready. I was getting it ready and doing the thing, and I was like, screw it, I don't want to teach from this. So I literally gutted out 20 slides,
Mm.
just deleted them. And I had an intro and I had a conclusion from the PowerPoint slide, but the rest was basically a one pager and teaching from the board. And it was a lot more fun. And I felt like I could move quicker, like I could just get the ideas out I didn't feel like I had to be, when you have it programmed into the PowerPoint, you have to hit all those slides. You have to hit all those points. Whereas when you're teaching from the board or just teaching, like actually teaching, I think you can be a little bit more nimble.
I like that concept for sure.
Yeah. Well, when you teach stuff, when you do your classes and other things like that, do you typically do PowerPoint or you just kind of get up there and talk and teach or what?
I used to, and if I'm doing a big group, I'll probably do a PowerPoint just to kind of stay on topic, but I really don't go by the PowerPoint. Or I
Hmm.
shouldn't say that. PowerPoint will remind me what's next, and then I talk about it. Don't even look at the PowerPoint anymore, and then click it. PowerPoint will remind me what's next. You know, kind of go in a flow that way. But it takes some practice. I think you should practice a few times. Make sure you got it right.
Practice.
Yeah, yeah.
Practice. You
Well,
talking
like I
about
said, depends
practice?
depends on the group. Depends on the group, you know. But
Well, what do you think is the difference between? Okay, that's a good point. I mean, you should practice, but what if you don't have time to practice, or what if you know it so well that you're like, man, I don't need to practice. I mean, I could teach this in my sleep.
I've done that as well,
Okay.
and that is you being you, Jim, and that's just you. You become so good at what you do. You've done it for so long that you don't need notes. Um, but that does take some time, unless you have a photographic memory and you're a different animal.
Right. Okay. Um, what's the biggest audience you've ever spoken to? Addressed.
Um, it's probably over 1,000. 1,200 maybe.
Where was it at?
Big room. Uh, National Strength and Conditioning Conference, Vegas. It's one of those big meetings.
Okay.
Yeah, big conferences. So that's the one I practiced, because I was up there with a whole bunch of people that were, in my business. I didn't want to look like an idiot, and make sure I had my stuff squared away. And but if I'm coaching students a concept that I made up and I developed, I don't necessarily need a PowerPoint to do it.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Um, so kind of bringing it back to funnels and stuff, talking about, and again, we're just talking right now. Do you think it takes more sales copy or less sales copy to sell somebody who already knows you, knows what you offer, knows what you have to, do you feel like you need less copy to sell people who already know you and know what you have to offer and all that good stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes all I have to do is put a picture of what's new and a buy button,
Right.
and that's like, hey, check this out. It's new. They're like, oh, okay.
And combine that with Stu's proven method of mailing on the 1st and the 15th.
Mm,
Um, you
classic.
know, pretty picture on payday, me want. Yes, give to me. What's up, Mary? What's up, Dave? What's up, Brad? What's up, Clarissa? Dave, thanks, Dave. Dave said Jim, it was he's talking about yesterday. It was much more authentic too, much more you.
Nice.
And I think it's interesting just thinking about when I was looking at the way I was teaching yesterday. It forced me when I was teaching from the board rather than with all the crap in the PowerPoint that I wanted to cover. It I was able to reinforce stuff more rather than just piling on the extras. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And instead of, it's this and 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 this, it forced me to address the fact of, hey, look, talking about funnels, um, if you don't know who your avatar is first before you do anything else, you're just wasting your time. And then once you know the avatar, then you got to figure out the offer. Again, don't start trying to write your sales copy unless you know who you're trying to communicate with, what their hot buttons are, and what the hell you're trying to sell them. And the two parts of that offer are the promise, what's the big promise, and then what's the stack, what's all the stuff they're going to get to fulfill on the promise. Again, if you don't know that, don't bother trying to write headlines or sales copy or stories or anything, because it won't matter. And then the third thing you got to do before you start writing anything is you got to figure out who you are as it relates to those two other things. Who are you? What's important about you as it relates to the avatar? If you can't communicate that, then again, you're wasting your time. And why are you qualified to offer this offer, make this promise, and provide these deliverables? Again, if you can't offer, and I realized when I was teaching that, I was like, you know what? That's what I spend at least half my time in creating anything goes into those things that someone might, oh, that has nothing to do with sales copy. It's like it has everything to do with being able to create the sales copy.
That's a good point.
And so I also think better when I'm teaching at the board than when I'm just trying to put together all this data that I can shoot from the PowerPoint gun,
Yeah.
and try and have some of it land. And then the other thing is that when you're using a picture and using the board and stuff, you can keep going back and reinforcing from that thing, from that. It's a very different thing. And I need to, it's like I rediscover that every couple of years. It's like, oh yeah, holy shit, whiteboards, yeah. Um, it's not as much PowerPoint, just teach. It's interesting. But thinking about, like a coaching funnel or something like that, like how much do you really need to tell somebody to make them an offer for you to coach them on something to get a result? Do you really need to give them 30 pages of information?
No, no. In fact, too much will probably turn them off.
Right.
Yeah.
And the biggest things that if you're looking at a coach, making a coaching offer, it's, what are the big questions somebody has on their mind? Have you, who are you? Why should I listen to you? What results have you gotten? What results have you gotten other people like me? How fast can you help me get results? I mean, that's, and how much is it? And
And why do they buy?
make money, save time, avoid effort, escape mental or physical pain, to achieve greater cleanliness, feel more love, and I don't remember what the other one or two are.
Gain praise, feel more love, increase their popularity or social status.
Yeah, yeah.
Page 16, folks. 16. Why people buy.
But that's, I just, one of the things that I'm seeing in the world right now is that everybody wants to make everything super complicated, and I'm starting to lean towards simplicity.
Got to.
If that makes sense. So,
Makes my brain do less
well, and
pondering and
yeah, and the one thing you got to do though is kind of, it's weird. It's like you want to simplify, but what attracts people is the next cool thing. It's like bright shiny object is really nutso in this world right now.
that is true.
So how do you combat that, Stu? I mean, you're basically just making a living teaching people how to do push-ups and push-ups and pull-ups.
Oh, I'm all about the bright shiny object, Jim. I go to Fiverr and get a fancy cover made, put
Uh-huh.
that thing out there, and I'm about to bombard any FBI candidate because November 1st, guess what?
The standards
Pull-ups,
are going
pull-ups
back up.
count. Pull-ups count in the
When did they
FBI.
stop? When did they stop counting?
They never counted.
Ever?
Never. You didn't even have to do them. Now you do.
I didn't know. I thought you always had to be able to do them.
No, I mean they're on the test, but they don't count towards scoring.
Well,
Used to
that's
be.
stupid.
It is kind of stupid. Um, yeah. So now it counts as part of your scoring.
Okay.
So now people have to practice pull-ups. Who has the answer, Jim?
Stu Smith.
That's right.
That's actually
So
why
it's going to
how
be
I
a very,
found you.
very bright, shiny object out there in the fitness testing world is the pull-up,
Okay.
and everybody wants to do them. You know,
Pull-ups are cool again. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. It's just it's one of the standards that they've changed.
Okay. What's
Make
going
the guys do
on
it.
with what's going on in the world of military fitness testing and stuff? Is there an opportunity there for you right now yet or no?
Yeah, I've done a few. I've done a few interviews out there. Because there's been some talk about standards changing, getting a little tougher.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, Becoming non-gender based, more like profession based. Like if you
Right,
do this job, you need to do this physical fitness, male or
right,
female.
right,
Um, which I've been a proponent of since the 90s.
right,
Because some people don't need to do pull-ups. If you're a cyber warfare professional and you're going
right.
to be sitting at a cubicle all day on a computer,
Yeah,
your fitness standards don't need to be as high as someone who's an artillery guy or infantryman,
right.
special ops guy. So anyway, I don't know if that is happening, but there's talk about it happening. I'm ready
Okay,
for that.
okay.
Ready to go.
And you probably wouldn't need too much warm up for that.
No, I'm ready to go. I was ready to go with the FBI thing too. I just had to change my cover because my original FBI cover had me doing sit-ups
Right.
on it, and they took out sit-ups and replaced it with pull-ups.
Okay.
So I'm just putting that out there into the world this week.
Okay. Cool. Well,
Yeah.
put it out there. Get you
So
some.
my answer to you is
Uh-huh.
yes, bright, shiny, trendy topics. It's kind of how it kind of
Okay.
gets. You need a hook still. You need the hook story offer, Jim. It all matters.
I like that though.
Yeah.
Bright and shiny
Trendy.
topic. Yeah, bright and shiny trendy topics. But interestingly enough, the meat behind it is unchanging.
Yes. You're just
Uh, uh,
yes.
you just gave me, you just gave it, you
That's what
just
I'm
gave
here
me
for,
an,
Jill. That's
you
what I'm
just
here
gave
for.
me an aha, like a real aha there, because it's, huh, huh. So give me an, okay, so like the FBI thing, the Pete Hegseth speech to saying no beardos, no fatzos, no, that's the stuff that, well, you always said beards and tattoos don't make you a better operator.
That is true.
Um, but that's what you're talking about. You're
Yeah.
still teaching the Stu Smith
Same stuff.
know-how of, push, pull, abs, cardio,
Nothing
and
has changed. Nothing has changed.
okay. But I like that because I think a lot of people confuse the bright shiny object with the product,
Yeah.
meaning I got to have the bright shiny object. But what this does, I'm really having kind of a breakthrough on this.
I like it, Jim. I like it.
What
That's what I'm here
what
for.
this what this does is it creates that bright shiny object syndrome based on a topic that then leads to the established product.
There you go.
um, that might need a little.
Yeah.
It might need a little tweak or something to it, but the easiest way, especially with what we do, you can tweak a product just with like a 15-minute precursor video
Yep.
or a 30-minute interview with somebody on something, and all of a sudden everything, and you position that at the front.
Yep.
It's kind of like, here's all, here's your pull-up stuff, here's your plank stuff, here's your cardio stuff, and then Stu does a 15-minute video about FBI standards changing and the fact that the pull-ups count now, and that's why you need to do the 2-week pull-up push and all that other stuff. And then that's it. All the
Yep.
rest of it is,
It's the same stuff.
everything.
I send them to the same link, Jim. Now, the only thing I have done to
Hmm.
to change that is I've done a live Q&A on this topic, which I do live on all my social media. So I'm giving that 15-minute brief and then I answer questions about it
Okay.
and I send them to the link. But I'm also changing 3 covers this week. Got my Fiverr guy making 3 cover changes just to make the the book more relevant to the trend.
Right.
And that takes I think it probably took me about $50.
Okay. So basically you can personalize any established product with an intro and a graphic. I mean, I know I'm overly simplifying, but
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not really.
Yeah.
But an intro and a graphic and a live Q&A, which a live Q&A doesn't, I mean, that's funny when people talk about live. Yeah, I'm alive right now. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know what happened to my Vimeo account in 100 years from now. But and C Ray says I'm digging this because I'm honest to God, dude, I'm having like a holy shit type thing right here because it's you don't bright shiny with the product, you bright shiny with the topic. I've never thought about, and you're like, dude, this is what I do. I mean, that it's, I feel like I should let you talk more.
Yeah.
Um,
We can talk about push-ups, Jim, if you want. That's what I do.
I like push-ups. I like it when they burn. That's when I know good things are happening. Um, huh. So let me ask you a question then. How do you figure out what the bright, shiny object topic is? Are you actually on the lookout for
Mhm.
that? Like what is your spidey stew sense?
It's a
How do you
variety of things. It's a
Okay.
variety of things and it's multiple versions. What I mean by that is you'll see national news,
Okay.
right? That's a big one. You're like, "Okay, this is getting bigger than I thought."
Okay.
You'll see news within the community, right? So tactical fitness professionals are talking about standards and things changing.
Okay.
And then, it could also be internally too. You just have news because you have a new answer to the same um the same problems people have been having for years. You just have a new concept to it.
Okay. What about and I know a new answer, is that the same thing as a different spin, or
Could be.
is that different? Or
Could be something revolutionary as well. Sometimes I'm like, "Hey, change your grip this way." I've been practicing this for over a month now, and it works really well. Or it could be something as subtle as that.
what
But
kind of
it's
grip?
just a grip on a pull-up bar. Change it up just in case you got elbow tendonitis or you're working through stuff.
Yeah.
It's a variety of things. Some people have grip problems, so let's work the grip. So there's a variety of different ways to do it. Like, how do you get better at pull-ups?
Okay.
Right? We can talk about arm muscles, back muscles, grip muscles. We can talk about multiple different things about it. So it's my internal news
Could
that I
changing your
have.
grip add 5 more pull-ups to your PT score. Holy shit, I got to read that.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean,
So that's
but
my internal news.
yeah,
Yeah,
don't keep your thumbs on top,
this way, this way. Yeah,
not like that, because if you do it like that, you're going to lose, at least in my experience. Are you an
I
overhand or an underhand thumb guy, Stu?
I go two different ways. All right, so I'll go this way for
Yeah.
pull-ups if I'm doing a lot of pull-ups.
Uh-huh.
Because if I go this way, my grip dies out before my pull-ups die out.
Yeah.
But if I want to work my grip, I'll go this way.
Okay.
So there's some nuances there that once
Well, what
again
I typically
become
do, Stu, is
internal
I
news.
use those cool little those hook things you gave me up at the
Oh
Naval
yeah,
Academy.
yeah, yeah.
And I do the my first sets are always close grip, and I go until I can't do anymore, and then I go close grip like this, and then I start alternating
There you go.
in between sets with all that stuff, and that works all the different muscles and stuff. I don't know why it does that. I thought I had that turned off.
So
Um,
anyway, that's kind of
okay,
where I
so
get my information.
national news, community news, internal news. What about like do you and maybe changes? Do you like keeping an eye out for anything that's changing? Like
Oh,
as soon as
absolutely.
something
And
changes, that creates
let
a
me tell you,
newsworthy thing.
in my world, change happens everywhere. Like Air Force alone changed the name of their special ops units 3 times in 5 years. They changed their test. They changed their test name. They changed, you know, the way they do their training, right? So you got to stay on top of those things, do some updates, and then you show this bright shiny object of the change, absolutely, and your answer to it. That's really all I'm doing now. I'm seeing a change that starts November 1st, and I'm on top of it with updating the book and getting that out there.
Okay. Um. Huh. Yeah. I mean,
And if you
can you
want to
smell
relate
the
this,
smoke?
yeah, I can smell it. And if you want to relate this to the funnel topic that we're on, that is what gets them to the edge of the funnel. And then they look down the funnel and they say, oh, he's got a ebook and a book for this. Oh, he's got online personal training for this. And you just bring them on down.
Is that how you visualize it?
That's how I visualize the funnel working. Is that how you not visualize it?
I've never thought of it like that before. Stu's like, yeah, I'm gonna get him into my little black hole of profit, and get him to the edge, and my gravity is gonna suck him in,
That's the way I
and then
look at it. Yeah.
and it's gonna
And
turn them
then
upside down so their wallet falls out of their pocket.
I don't know.
This is how Stu Smith
That's
This is how Stu Smith envisions us. Oh, and got all
but
my
yeah,
cash hanging out, but he's smiling, you know.
hook story offer gets them to the edge, and then they look down and they like, oh, bye, 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 bye.
Easy, Mr. Bill. Oh no, Mr. Bill. Um, dude, that's good. That's really
And
good.
here's the best thing about it is it keeps you relevant. It keeps you, you know, on the topic, and you just you know what's going on. You're in the loop, and people want to be in the loop.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, plus it's like it's the same old shit. Um, so I'm writing something down. Uh, y'all hang on a second. I'm sniffing an idea genie.
Mm.
I'm sniffing something to help come up with that kind of stuff. or at least get the mind going. Because I mean, it's really okay. So, like, I'll use an example of today's article. Okay. Um, James said, watching reel after reel doesn't help with the bright, shiny objects. Yeah. Brad says, and by following the highlighting the change, it proves you're current, especially in contrast to those who have not updated their content yet. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Um, and I think I'm so far into the extreme of trying to make everything evergreen that
Mm.
I'm worried about something going out of date, that I need to do that. But if you look at like the article for today, and I'll flash it up on the screenage. Let's share it and talk, and let's talk about, since Stu's driving the bus today. So here it is on the blog. With It's the same thing that got sent in mail, okay, in the email and the newsletter. How to build a sales funnel fast so you can sell your stuff and get on with your life. Okay, that's good. And I mean, it's good. It's not. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. Um, but what if I had tied it to everybody's upcoming Black Friday sale that everybody's going to do,
Fairly trendy.
or or tied it to, I don't know, what else could I have tied it to? Um,
No,
you know,
I think that's a great example. Just the Black Friday sale is a big day in
right. But
online business.
what's the other thing everybody's talking about? AI. So what if I
Mm.
had an angle of, is AI killing the sales funnel?
Ooh.
Um, Now, all it would take would be a one paragraph thing on here was saying that, AI doesn't know your customer as well as you do. AI doesn't know your offer as well as you do, and AI doesn't know you as well as you do. And so if you're dependent solely on AI to create your sales funnels, your sales will be non-existent here shortly
Hmm.
because of all the competition,
Or irrelevant.
or irrelevant.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And then everything that comes after that, I'm pointing at this like you can see what the hell I'm pointing at. But that little introduction would go right in front of this,
Yep.
and then it would pick right up here from here.
I think you ought to change it, Jim.
No, I don't know how. Nancy and Susan know how to do it. I don't even know how to log into this thing. Um, but that right there, I mean, those of you that are listening, would that angle be more catchy? Would that
Yes.
angle grab you more? And I can tell you just from personal experience that it would.
Well, I will
And
say this. I saw that title and the subtitle. I'm like,
eh,
that's Jim Edwards talking to me.
right,
You know, like, I know Jim Edwards, and that's something that would come out of your mouth.
right. Well, it
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. I felt like you were talking to me.
Right,
So I didn't look at it as a good or bad. I was like, oh, yeah, Jim. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But if it had said that,
Oh,
is
yeah.
AI going to kill your holiday sales?
That would have got my
Would you
attention.
have opened that even
Oh, yeah.
faster?
That would have gotten my
And
attention big time.
right. And that's what I'm saying, that I got to get smarter. And you made me smarter today, because
Well,
I'm
thank you.
I'm looking at this a whole different way now of, if you think about, I mean, that's one of the, I mean, there have been a lot of people who've come and gone, and Stu Smith is still here, almost 30 years later. You know what I mean? It's coming up on 30-ish years, or
Yeah.
25
Yeah.
years, or whatever. Many have come and gone, and many will continue to come and go. And I'm sure you can look at the ones that come and see that they probably have bought multiples of your books
Yeah.
over the years. It's like, I love seeing the people who are selling the how to write and publish your book thing. How many of them, bought my stuff way back in the day?
Yeah.
Um, but I've not, I haven't thought about this. and 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 a need to. But that really good, you
Yeah.
know.
We'll chew on this one a little bit and maybe come up with a nice little presentation for folks.
Yeah, I wrote up. I need a new genie, an angle genie. Um, just some science, something that you could throw your stuff into, and it would give you suggestions for angles that you might not have thought of.
You know something you should ask it. Um,
Uh-huh.
what is trending? Like what is trending? Like sometimes you can go over to Twitter or X, whatever it's called, and you can see what's trending.
Right. Yeah, that the issue with that, and now maybe this is more than you want to know, but there are still issues with when language model was last
Ah,
updated and other stuff like that. So it might be a two-step process of no matter what you're using.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And that's not as big a deal as it used to be, but I think I think there would probably be a multi-step process of going out and gathering up, hey, what's trending right now in the world that might be relevant. There'd be a little bit of investigative work.
Sure.
But then once you did that, you could plug it all in and say, okay, give me a give me a couple of change headlines and a segue
Yeah.
for this. I mean, it's almost like this could be built into the rewrite, repurpose, recycle genie. Um, hmm,
Hmm.
we'll see. We'll see. But that's, I mean, I don't know. Just if
I
you
would
think,
say, Jim, I write an article at least once a month on something that is trending in the fitness world. In fact, I wrote one today about people taking baking soda as part of their fitness trend, fitness, health, and wellness.
and
You
you
know,
can say, I mean, but you consciously say, I need to write an
yeah,
article on what's trending right now.
yes,
I've never heard you talk about that before
yeah.
because
Sorry,
you never asked, Jim.
it's just it is. I write 3 articles a week plus one of my own a
Hmm.
week, and yeah, I need ideas, and sometimes asking the Google machine, what's trending, you can find some answers, and then I go over to the copy and content to help me, repurpose something, and then get a
Are
better
there any
topic.
other things that you do besides looking for trending topics? I mean, I guess you said you look at the news.
Yeah, look at the news, see what's big there. A lot of times, especially with the new administration, they're making bold changes with fitness standards and things like that. So that's an easy one to find these days. It's
Hmm.
usually not so easy because it nothing um, really was changing that much other
Hmm.
than internal branches of service changing little things. This is like a military wide and law enforcement wide change. So there's a little bit different levels of change there.
Two
And more
questions.
trendy. And I've probably done 3 interviews in the last month on this change with like ABC and uh, a couple other Men's Health, a couple other channels out there.
Are they searching you out? They're
Yeah.
finding you because of your articles and stuff?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
were you on ABC, like on the news?
It wasn't TV, it was digital. So it
Okay.
was, yeah, it was on their website.
So two questions, just random because we're talking.
Yeah.
One, what's wrong with baking soda?
Nothing. I
Does
mean,
it do
baking
anything
soda's
for you?
been people been using baking soda since the 1800s, right?
Right.
But some people are overusing it and wondering why they got digestive issues and wearing the enamel off their teeth and
Right.
so it's got some pros and cons to it. Obviously, there's some studies in it that it can help with endurance athletes, in micro doses. Um,
Okay.
But just one tablespoon of baking soda gets about 60% of your sodium content that you need in a day.
Right.
So it is very high in sodium. So there's some harmful effects, if you have high blood pressure, things like that. And that's just what I wrote about, kind of like the
Okay.
pros and cons of it. And if you really have a trend, that deals with chemicals, you might want to talk to a doctor or nutritionist before you put it in their body and not listen to some influencer who's selling supplements
Right.
on their website.
Yeah. Made in China.
Right, even
You
worse.
know. So okay, the
So
reason why I ask is because I've been doing an eighth of a teaspoon of baking soda and an eighth of a teaspoon of salt in my 12 ounces or 16 ounces of water in the morning, first thing. And I've experienced really good results
yeah,
with that
that's a
over the last
small
year.
enough dose to be useful.
Right.
Where it gets not so useful is if they're bigger doses. A lot of people, especially people that are athletes, that more is better
Right. Yeah.
mentality. They do it with
Right.
creatine. They do it with anything, protein.
Right.
So anyway, that's just a lot of times my articles come from that approach to whatever trend is out there. I say yes, but be careful.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is not medical advice. Please consult your doctor or other
Oh,
medical
absolutely,
professional.
absolutely.
Another thing I've been doing that's, again, I'm not giving legal, moral, physical, medical, or other advice, but doing the 10 grams of creatine
Hmm.
has really, it's made a huge difference in my energy level and ability to concentrate. I mean, it has made a huge, massive
It is the
difference.
most studied supplement ever. For the last 30 years, it has been studied like nobody's business, and they're using it for everything from concussion recovery, head trauma, um, cognitive function in aging populations. They're starting to use it for more than just, football linemen
Right.
who want to explode off the line, be ready to do it again.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's something to take a look at, and science is out there on it.
Well, but this is, I mean, dude, I'm serious. This is like one of those things where I mean, I can't not do this now because I've
All
been
right.
kind of my stuff, we reach a level and you're like, hey, is that level's good enough? Um, but I really think that I have gone so far into the evergreen world that I almost consciously avoid, and I used to do stuff called it newsjacking,
Mm,
where I used to do that a lot 20 years ago. We were, I've said it, most successful press release I ever sent was I got a call from the newspaper within 6 minutes of when I sent it. And the headline of it was, is in Williamsburg.com the next Yahoo? And that was one, yeah, but that was back in
love it.
98, 1998. And it was, I mean, anytime I've ever done that kind of stuff, it works. So of course, if it works, you stop doing it.
Yeah.
Um, so it's just that you really have given me something to chew on with this. Um,
Newsjacking is not a bad name for it, actually. Yeah, I know that might
yeah,
have some negative connotations, but it is actually what it is.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
that's what it's called. It can take on a negative connotation, but it shouldn't. But if you think
yeah.
about,
What
if you
what's
go ahead.
the news talking about? The
Right,
bright shiny object, right? Because they're in the same business. They got to get eyeballs on their stuff, so they're going to talk about the bright shiny object for you.
sure. I mean, but
Yeah,
if what's the big thing everybody is going on right now is government shutdown.
yeah,
I mean, how could you tie something to government shutdown? I'm
yeah,
not saying
yeah. I know, I know.
you have to, but what I'm saying is you're looking at that stuff and finding that cool creative angle I'm not going to do this, but you think about, hey, government employee, got a little extra time on your hands. Why not write a book in the next 2 weeks? And maybe you don't have to worry about going back to work. I know that sounds,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah,
the general idea, you
yeah,
know.
that's yeah.
Or
That,
okay, top 10 things you could do while on furlough from the US government. Okay, write a book, get in shape, clean your garage. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, there's just finding those things of hitting that angle. Um Now it's got me thinking, 20 things and the AI could really help you come up with brainstorm
oh,
some cool
geez.
stuff. But I
Yeah.
mean, you know, in some ways, and I know this is totally off topic, but I was thinking the other day, I wish I could go back to the beginning of COVID, knowing what I know now and do it all over again.
Mm,
I would be in better shape. I'd have more money. I
mm,
would have done like a whole bunch of stuff I would have done differently.
yeah.
That's being interesting. If I could do COVID all over again, what would
Yeah.
I do
I would
differently?
invest in Zoom and invest in Nvidia.
And then, yeah, and then I would sell Zoom short on whatever that date was when it went down,
Yep. Yep.
and I'd buy the crap out of Netflix. Um,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, if I could go back to 2011 and buy $100,000 worth of Bitcoin,
Whoo.
I asked AI to figure that out for me, and it's like you'd have like $60 billion.
Oh, Jesus.
You could have bought all the Bitcoin at one point for like 10 grand.
Good Lord.
But then it wouldn't be worth anything if you owned it all.
I
So anyway, just random shit. Anyway, I think we I think we've
think
pounded
we're
this.
done. Yeah. No, but
Um,
it's a good little topic to kind of
that
cook
was
on a little bit.
yeah,
Figure out how
because
to do it without sounding like you're sensationalizing too much.
and again, the news jacking thing's been around, but I've never, honest to God, thought about it like this before. Though, is that I've always thought in order to scratch the bright shiny object, you had to just create a whole new bright shiny object.
Right.
But
Yeah.
what you're saying is the topic can create that effect.
Yeah.
And if you need to adjust a product, you don't need to reinvent the product, put a little intro on it and a Q&A and call it a day, and then get you a new graphic and you're set.
Yeah.
And I'm smarter today. So thank you, Stu.
Hey, glad it worked out. I'm glad we planned this, Jim.
We plan every day
Yep.
to add value to people's lives. When I pray in the morning, the big thing I pray for is help me to add value to the world today. Give me patience, give me courage, give me wisdom. The patience one goes to shit. But
Mm,
I think if you're always operating in the spirit of how can I help people?
yep.
So you get today's mug, Stu. Great job,
Hey,
Stu. Well
thank
done.
you. Thank you.
There's your virtual mug hug. There you go. Take a picture because I'm gonna
Here's
erase
my
it.
Parker nose mug.
How the hell did you get a Parker? Is that really Parker? Or is that just some random dog?
I'm sure it's a random beagle, but it looks just like my dog.
They're pretty consistent in appearance.
Yes.
All right. Well, we appreciate y'all. Thanks for joining us. Um, y'all take care. Good to see you, James, Mary, Brad, everybody. Appreciate you, Ray. Appreciate y'all joining us. We'll see y'all next time. Have a great day. Bye bye. Oh, and if you want cool AI tools, check out CopyandContent.AI because it's awesome. And if you
Yeah.
want to get in shape or get your mind right, head to StuSmithFitness.com.
There you go. Thank you.
Have a great day.